This is the Bull Session, a weekly recap of your 2025 Philadelphia Phillies. Broadcasting live from Chickie's and Pete's, tonight's show is brought to you by Team Toyota, BCWSA, Fogo de Show, Penn Community Bank, Chickie's and Pete's, and the Capitol Grill Center City. Now, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Mickey Morandini.
All right, welcome to the BCWSA Bull Session presented by Wapner Newman. We are live from Chickie and Pete's in South Philadelphia. I'm John Brazer, the Director of Fun and Games. Right? We got to edit. No, I'm still the director. I'm still the Director of Fun and Games, just not the Phillies Director of Fun and Games.
Okay.
Right, so we got to get that edited there.
What fun and games are you directing?
I had a lot of fun and games over the weekend, which I'll tell you about. We are joined, you just heard right there, the former Phillies second baseman for the 1993 Phillies World Series team, Mickey Morandini. So I got to do it like Harry Callis,
never do it like
Dan
Harry.
Baker. And we got a great show today, Mick. Since we're joined by, we were just talking with him, Phillies reliever Chase Shugart. How's it going, Chase?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I know from just talking to some people that you're a big golfer, and I was telling you off the air that Mickey and I are both love to golf. I can't say I'm very good, but I like to bomb
You
it.
have your moments.
But awesome weekend. Were you watching the PGA?
As much as we could, just in the clubhouse, it was on, and every in between things you're doing, you're stopping, watching, and got to go get back to the routine.
It was on. So I belong to manufacturers. I'll bring you out there at some point. It's a great course out in Fort Washington. And I started a thing called a speaker series. And since 2018, about three or four times a year, I'll bring a celebrity, mostly sports, because that's what I worked in. So have I had you out there, Mick?
You have not.
All right. Well, now I got
This year.
I brought Tommy. I brought a bunch of different people. But on Thursday night, we had the author, a guy named Alan Shipnuck, who wrote the Phil Mickelson book. You remember, there was controversy about the Phil Mickelson book because Phil on record said, made disparaging remarks about the Saudis, saying they're scary, but he was jumping in with them. And so then Phil, basically after that book came out, Phil kind of went into hiding a little bit. And then he just did the Rory book. So it was really interesting. So I had to moderate the event, and I'm talking to the guy, and he was just talking about everyone on the tour. And it got me very excited because I knew I was going to the PGA. And it's interesting, when Rory, did you hear the comments he said about Aronimink in the very beginning? Someone said, what is the strategy on playing Aronimink? Now, Aronimink is a bomber's course. It's kind of long fairways, wide. And he said, well, there's not a lot of strategy. It's just basically driver putter, right?
Bomb away. Yeah.
Right, bomb away, which I think some of the old school people, and I think some of the Aronimink people probably thought, well, that's not really fair. So I think they were hoping for low scores, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they were rooting against Rory. I just think that Rory did get hassled. And then typical Philly, Scheffler is a Cowboys fan, right? So every time Scheffler came to a hole, they're all doing Eagles chants, and I think Scheffler had some fun with it.
Yeah.
But is there somebody on the tour that you follow?
Scotty's a former Longhorn
Right,
as well.
that's
so,
right.
It's cool to see his success and being in UT Austin the same time he was there. We never really crossed paths, but it's just cool to see guys coming out of the university.
Was there anybody else that was there when you were there? Because there's a lot of guys coming out of Texas golf.
Golf, Spieth was not there, but Spieth was a Longhorn. Not really nobody, just world number one.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And I think he's going to come back for the U.S. Open. That's my money's on him there. But I was telling you, my buddy had to build a platform right on the 13th green, and then you could pivot and then watch the 14th tee. And that tee was just diabolical on that Friday because it was right over the sand trap way to the right. So these guys, it was already a long hole, 200. It was like a 220-yard shot. And then if you wanted to
Go for it.
If you want to go for it, you got to hit a postage stamp with the wind, with the greens that were tough. So. But it was, I'm sure you watched it on TV. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that sounds like a great weekend.
It was a good win. I took my wife, took my daughter. I was able to get the whole deal.
There were a lot of holes, and you don't usually see it in the PGA, but they were just taking their pars. You don't see that a lot where they just take their pars, but on this course, a lot of them were just taking their pars.
Well,
on.
That green we were on, it's kind of a short par 4. So I literally saw one guy Now, 2 days I was on that platform. I saw one guy make a long putt in 2 days. One guy. I mean, there wasn't. You didn't. Obviously, you saw Ray's putt on was at 17 when he hit that long putt, right? And good for that guy for winning too.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I didn't know anything about the guy. Nothing. And then hear all the comments, from Rory and Scheffler and all the other guys saying what a great guy is on the tour. So did you play in the golf tournament in spring training when they all go out there?
We had a 3-way tie for first, and then we had a closest to the pin chip off. And you picked 2 guys from each team, and then it was me and Cesar Ramos, our bullpen coach, against JT, and I forget who was on JT's team, and then I think it was Flanny, our bullpen catcher Flanders, and another person from their team, and we went second. It was like a little snake draft how we shot the whole took our shots. But
and what hole did you guys play?
18. We kind of put it on a tight lie and then chipped over the bunker and closest to the pin that way. And I bladed it past the green, and I wasn't anywhere close. And then my teammate Caesar chipped it in, and we won.
Oh, wow!
Yeah,
nice.
So it was a good day.
So what's your handicap?
I'm at an 8-2 right now.
Oh, nice.
And did you guys win? What did you just win? Pride?
I got a new 54-degree wedge.
Nice.
I remember I played in that one year, and I was playing with, I think I want to say it was like Cliff Lee and Cole Hamels, and it was there was a par 3 that's uphill. You know what I'm talking about? There was an uphill par 3, and they're like $1,000 if get on the green. I was like, guys, can I skip out of this one? That's great. All right, so you grew up in East Texas, outside Houston.
Yep.
So growing up, were you an Astros fan?
Yes, I was. It was like the 05 Berkman, Biggio, Bagwell, the Killer Bees, and then growing up watching Roger Clemens, Andy Pettit, Roy Oswalt, Brad Lidge, there was great baseball being played, and they had my interest. It was the closest park, and me and my grandparents took off every chance we got.
And yet, did you play with Cody?
I played with Cody at Texas. We
wow.
Same age, went in together, and got drafted the same year together.
Okay, so you got to know the dad too. So, so that must have been cool, as as a kid watching Roger Clemens, and then playing with his kid and getting to know the dad.
Yeah, I was definitely starstruck meeting him for the first time. That's a big old dude.
He is a big old dude.
I knew I pitched well on the weekend. If Cody's like, "Hey, you want to come to dinner with us tonight?"
right.
Yes, I do.
Right.
He give you some pitching tips?
Yeah, I mean, he mainly talked the mentality side of pitching. He was a fierce competitor, and I like to believe that I am as well. And just taking the bits and pieces he had from his playing career, talking about in moments and his 20 strikeout game, and nothing faltered in his mind during that time. So just being tough mentally is what I've taken away from it.
Now, from East Texas, I'm sure you played football, right?
Oh yeah.
My guess is you're a quarterback.
Yep.
Right? Because they're all quarterbacks, right? Because they're the best athletes, right? And you were probably a shortstop growing up in Little League and a pitcher.
Yeah, I played center, third, and a little bit of shortstop.
Okay. Did you play defense? Did you play safety or defensive back?
Free safety.
Free safety. See that, Mick? I got to cover it there.
You do. You do your homework.
And you got some. Who was a really? We'll see if you get this. There was a guy in your team. There is a guy in your team who was a total stud quarterback and was drafted by most of the big D1 programs.
JT,
yeah. I mean, JT's one of these guys, again, that's good in anything he does.
Yeah.
He comes from that long line of wrestler, some of the most famous wrestlers in United States history.
Yeah.
His uncle was one of them. But, yeah, you knew that, right?
Yeah.
This guy set his high school basketball record, still has the scoring record in basketball, and that was before the three-point line.
Right before.
Right?
Came in the year after I graduated.
Now, did you ever think about football, or is it more just baseball as a career?
I got like a D3 look. I mean, if you would have asked me in middle school, freshman year and sophomore year, what I wanted to do is I wanted to play football. And, I feel like football was my first love. Like baseball was just something I played. And then I got, I've always had a strong arm and was athletic and looking forward to it. But going into my junior year, or sophomore summer going into junior year, I played these showcases and baseball tournaments. I thought of them as just any other baseball tournament. I didn't know the capacity of it, of scouts and Division I scouting, JUCO, all the whole nine. And then my junior year, I get emails on September 1st from literally any school that I could dream of. And I'd plan these visits and go through the whole recruiting process. And I kind of put into perspective, I was like, all right, I'm not getting this for football. It's probably time to think of a different career path.
So did you stop football in high school at that point?
I played my junior year, and going into my senior year that summer, I was playing third base at Bluebell Park, which is A&M, and separated my left shoulder and tore my labrum. So I did not play my senior year of football, which is probably for the best, but did not play due to injury, and so just focused on baseball from then on.
So in football, were you at the program where I know like Texas football obviously gets huge, and obviously most people have seen Friday Night Lights. Like, was it kind of like that, or were you playing at more of a smaller school?
Oh, we were a small school. I think my graduating class was no more than 200. It wasn't like Allen High School where Kyler Murray went to school or nothing like that. But, we drew a good crowd. We had 8,000 people in population of Bridge City, Texas, and drew a good crowd. We went to the playoffs my sophomore year, and junior year we weren't the best team out there. But, we had fun. Memories I'll carry with me forever.
And I know obviously you played at Texas, but was any other school in the running, or did you just know? I know, like, was it Augie Garrido, who's a pretty famous coach,
Absolutely.
right? And I'm sure if you grew up in Texas and you're sitting down with Augie Garrido, you're probably going to be like, and he wants you, you're probably like, yeah, I'm going.
Oh, sure.
This is probably the first time I've admitted this, but LSU was my number one.
Really?
Because that was only a 2.5-hour drive from where I grew up. But Texas has a history. And so it was like LSU, Texas. And then the weekend after I committed to Texas, I also had TCU lined up to go take a visit there. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma.
Was Skip Burtman at LSU still?
No, that was Maneri.
Okay.
Will Davis was actually the guy who we played a tournament in Baton Rouge. He's now the head coach at Lamar in Beaumont. He was the guy who showed me around LSU and, the whole nine of that front. So I think it's cool. When I go train back home, we go to Beaumont, train with Will Davis at Lamar, facility, track man, everything we need. So I think it's just a small baseball community, how you meet this guy in high school. Now he's running the show here at Lamar, and it was just pretty cool. But, yeah, really any SEC school I was trying to get into, but I took that first visit, sat down with Augie for an hour, and gave us this whole spill, his background, where he's from, his military lifestyle, how he expects to win, what he goes about his business, and then talking to Tommy Nicholson at the time, who was their hitting coach, because they wanted me to go in as a two-way, and I two-wayed for the fall, and then my shoulder, I never had surgery on it, so it was kind of, like, hey, we're just going to pitch. But sat down with Augie and me and my uncle and my grandfather, and at the end of it, my grandfather goes, where do I sign?
right.
So we committed that day and banged every other visit.
Because I looked at your stats even in high school as a hitter, you hit like over 500, and I mean, like, I love watching these stats of the guys that were pitchers, and then you go back in high school and you obviously they're great athletes. You see they're hitting. So in 2006, for me, I grew up in this area, and I was single, and a buddy of mine called me up and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" This is like 3 weeks before New Year's Eve. So what are you doing New Year's Eve? I said, I got nothing really going on. He's like, you want to go to the Rose Bowl? So I had no idea I was about to, because I didn't have any allegiance, Texas or USC. I decided to be a Texas fan for whatever reason. I just had to pick one. And so I went out and got the Texas hat and the whole deal. And little did I know I'm about to watch one of the greatest, because that goes down in history as one of the best, not the best.
It's the greatest football game
ever.
Yeah.
And I think Vince Young scored the touchdown in the end zone. We were, it was just incredible. You got Reggie Bush, you got Vince Young, and it was back and forth. I think it was like 41-38, right? So I kind of stumbled into that.
Exactly.
It was pretty cool. So I'm sure you watched that.
Absolutely.
You
stayed up past my bedtime for that one.
right. It's pretty awesome. That's great. And then I guess, did you know that obviously when you start getting recruited, when you say you're going to the showcases, that's when you kind of knew that you had a future. Did you think at that point that maybe this could roll into like a pro career, or?
Yes and no. I don't think I ever sold myself short on how good I was. I kind of feel like I always knew how good I was, but it was also being able to be that good every day. And I didn't really understand the toll that it takes, especially in college where you got school from 8 to 12, you got study hall for an hour, and then you got to go to practice for 4 hours and going through that. So, but I would say going into my junior year of college, I turned from a reliever to a starter and had some success in the Cape Cod League. And I was like, okay, like I can get drafted as a starter.
Right.
And then I ended up in the rotation and some relief spots, just like if Tuesday game, bullpen day, need a close situation, safe situation. And, but I feel like me having the versatility to close, to start, long relief, like whatever was needed, kind of opened up the team's eyes to where we're like, hey, we should give this kid a shot.
All right, when we come back, I want to get into the because I'm fascinated by the Cape Cod League. Did you play in the Cape Cod League? All right, I want to talk to both of you guys about that when we come back. Talk more baseball with Phillies reliever Chase Shugart. You're listening to the BCWSA Bull Session presented by Wapner Newman.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Bring your party to Chickie and Pete's. We can handle groups of all sizes at our locations across the Delaware Valley. Big parties, small parties, company parties, family parties, get-togethers with friends. Order off the menu or our special catering options. We can do it all, including coming to your home or office or special Play 2 party packages at our South Philly location. Book your party today. Hurry, the space is limited. Visit ChickieandPete's.com for details. Chickie and Pete's is official caterer of the Philadelphia Eagles Touchdown Club and a proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hey BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
Need auto service in a hurry? No one offers more service centers than the Peruzzi Automotive Group. More certified trained technicians to get you in and out. Appointments available within 24 hours. All makes and models. PA state inspections and emissions to major work including collision. All located on Route 1 in Fairless Hills. Visit any Peruzzi dealership for fast service. Peruzzi Buick GMC, Peruzzi Nissan, Mitsubishi, or Mazda, and their collision center.
Penn Community Bank, we're your financial partner for all of life's moments. Our checking accounts are designed with you in mind, providing convenient access and 5-star mobile and online banking services to help you achieve your goals. Right now, you can earn a $350 cash bonus for opening a qualifying new checking account with direct deposits in the first 60 days. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/cash bonus to learn more. Penn Community Bank, here we grow. Offer terms and conditions apply. Limited time offers subject to change. As for full details, member FDIC.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Mickey Morandini.
All right, we are back to the BCWSA Bull Session presented by Wapner Newman. I'm John Brazer, Director of Fun and Games, and joined by my co-host Mickey Morandini and our guest Phillies reliever Chase Shugart. And Chase, we just left off by both of you guys were talking about how you played in the Cape Cod League, and to me, that's like Americana at its finest, right?
Absolutely.
It's like you're playing basically on you feel like you're playing at a park. And I remember I went to Chatham, I think, and it was, you got the people that sell T-shirts at the tables, and you're close up, and it's great competition because this is kind of some of the first opportunities for scouts to see guys play in a wooden bat league. So for both of you guys, what was that experience like? And do you still? I guess you stay with the host family, right?
Yes.
Have you stayed in touch with the host family since then?
I have not. It was
Bad.
I have not, but it was. I had a tremendous time up there. I don't know how they do it now, but we had to get a job, so I was a house painter.
Yeah,
I worked for a house painting company, so we would paint.
Did you have any idea what you were doing?
Well, easy stuff.
Okay.
Get up on ladders and stuff.
Okay.
But so we would do that in the morning and then go home and then play a game, late afternoon. It was
Chase,
fun.
did they put you to work?
Yeah, but we had to work the camps they put on for kids. So
Yeah.
like we had to work 4 weeks worth of camps and then they paid you for it, but then go do those camps for 2 or 3 hours, go get lunch, come back to the field, you're ready for a game. some like I played in Katuitt, so we didn't have lights, so we had to play earlier to where, get the game in and then get out of there. But actually, my host family, we just got on the road trip from Boston. They came and saw me that first night in Boston. So
take some lessons here.
It was good to see them.
And I think Tim Meza played also for Katuitt. Was that the same time? Or
no, he was before me. But yeah, we actually talked about that not too long ago.
Okay. I remember Summer Catch came out, and we had the premiere of Summer Catch. We had a red carpet. Freddie Prinze Jr. and I don't know why we had it here. Because it was by the director. My gosh, Mike Tolan. Friends of the Phillies. He did that. So we had it here. It was pretty cool. All right, so you get drafted by the Red Sox, right? Yep. So here you are playing in the Cape Cod League. You get drafted by the Red Sox, and you go through the minor league system. And I think in the minor leagues, you were part of a with Michael Wacha. Weren't you part of a combined no-hitter?
Yep. Wacha was on a rehab start in Worcester in 2022, I think it was. And then he went 4 2/3 hitless. And then another reliever, AJ Philiy, went 2 1/3. And I think I went 2 innings. And it's funny because I was 2-0 to the last guy in the box for the last out of the game. And I just throw a heater, I didn't know. I had no idea.
You had no idea there was a no-hitter?
No idea.
Really?
So I'm just 2-0. I was I got to get a strike here.
Yeah.
And he hits a missile to left field. Devlin Granberg comes running in, dive and catch, the old dramatics and theatrics of it. But it was – and then at the end of the game, everybody's jumping up and down. And I've got my arms up in the air. I'm like, what are we celebrating for? Turns out
really
there was a no-hitter. So – you don't pay attention to those things in minor leagues. You're all right, I need to go in, get my work in, do my routine, try to win this game, and that stuff kind of just falls apart. You know what I mean?
All right. So let's say if you did know, right? If you were aware, would you have thrown him a down the middle heater on a 2-0 pitch?
Probably not. I probably would have tried to walk him and get ahead of the next guy.
And it wasn't a perfect game. It was more just a no-hitter.
No, it was just a no-hitter because I think I walked 1 or 2 probably.
Right. And then it's funny. I think I left my phone in my car, so I've got all these notes on there. But I do remember you got called up by the Red Sox and you were in Baltimore when you made your debut, right at Camden Yards. So I always love asking people your opening day, Major League Baseball. You're in Camden Yards, one of the historic. Obviously, you're playing at Fenway, but Camden Yards. What was that like? Did you remember anything, or were you kind of blacked out?
Kind of just black out. I got called up on Sunday. We were in Boston Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday against the Rangers, and I didn't pitch. I warmed up for extra innings, and it never came. So, I was fresh for those 3 days, and then Thursday comes.
Wait, and hold that thought, and then go back to that. So about the bullpen at Fenway, because it's an old stadium, and people are right on top of you.
Right on top of you.
Right? So what was that like?
I could just turn around and dap somebody up if I wanted to. Right. I feel like they could reach out and just grab you or touch you. And, the first time being there, it's a little uncomfortable, but, you get used to it and learn how to block those type of things out. So,
but you're also in Fenway. That's right when you're in that bullpen or just even in the stadium itself. Isn't that I think it's cool as a fan. That's got to be right. Awesome. Just being part of it
absolutely.
When you're on a team and you're playing in Fenway.
The coolest swing I've probably seen taken was by Adolis Garcia at Fenway. The first couple of days I was up, he hit one over the monster, and can't enjoy it then because you're on the other team. But looking back, I was like, that was a pretty cool moment. Just watching the first ball fly over the monster, the red seat up in right field, and then just the history. Babe Ruth pitched on that mound, just kind of
Ted Williams, and
trying to
a lot of history.
Take in the history of it all.
Did you do a tour?
No, I didn't do that.
You never went behind the wall or anything?
No, never did that.
Yeah.
Did you bang your head off anything in the dugout?
In the bullpen, I did. I jumped up for a home run. I thought I gave myself a concussion on the bullpen roof, but, luckily I didn't. But
all right, sorry, I interrupted. So then your debut, your Camden Yards, right?
Yeah.
And you obviously don't know if you're going to be getting in or not.
Right. And I kind of know because I know there's a guy coming off the COVID IL, and that tomorrow he's eligible to come off. We got another position player coming off. I was like, all right, it's today or never, So I think we fell behind 3 runs, 2 runs or something like that. And I come into a dirty inning and Adley Rushman's in the box. So then, like, next thing you know, the game's over. I've gone 2 2/3, I think, and given up 1. And like looking back on it, I was like, I really can't remember what was going on in those 2 2/3 innings. I remember, you know, like the anxiety build up in the bullpen. I threw like 6 pitches, and then I was in the game, and then it's just go get them. And at the end of it, you go back and you watch the video of it. You're like, okay, now I can finally start comprehending what just happened.
And who were some of the characters in that bullpen? Because Chapman wasn't there yet, was he?
No, it was Kenley Jansen, Josh Winkowski, Zach Kelly. I can't remember if Garrett Whitlock was in there, if he was on the IL or not.
Was there somebody that kind of took you under their wing, like to kind of make you feel comfortable that?
So my whole minor league career was with the Red Sox, and then that was my 3rd big league camp with all those guys.
Right.
And then being in AAA for the guys who get an option and are up and down. So, like, I had a pretty good relationship with most of the guys up there. Cutter Crawford, he's a starter for them. I lived with him during spring training, and we had a really good relationship. And so, like, he kind of brought it in. He's like, hey, same game, more people in the stands. That's all it is. And
he must have been excited when he knew that you were getting called up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he started that first night.
Okay.
And then I think he went 5 perfect or something like that. So
you inspired him.
I brought him some good luck.
All right. So then you get you then end up in Pittsburgh, right, with the Pirates the next year.
Yep.
Right. So same thing. Like, so here you're on it. I guess Skeens obviously was pitching. So was that his rookie year?
No,
second year.
That was his second year.
Second year. So what was that like? Basically, playing with Skeens, who, he's an LSU guy. So
it just the work ethic sticks out. The routine. There's a reason he's having the success he has. Us getting to him yesterday, I feel like we did a really good job of grinding at bats, and there wasn't a lot of damage, but we'd look up in the 4th inning, 5th inning, he's at 75 pitches already.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, like we have a chance to knock him out of the game, get to the bullpen, and let our offense do damage to the way they do. And then you get a great start by Wheeler, and it's just like, here we go. But going back to Skeens and like seeing how he goes about his day to day, he's a clubhouse guy, he's a guy's guy, he's great to be around, but you don't want to get in the way of what he's doing and how he's trying to go about his business. So there's a lot of perks that came with being with Paul. You can't go anywhere in public with Paul. You can't. It's just he's a great guy. Like, I can't say enough nice things about him, but it's cool to see the success he's had.
So, I know you have a lot of pitches. You got a sweeper, you got a cutter, you got a changeup, you got a 2-seamer, and what am I missing? I'm missing
4-seam.
4-seam, obviously 4-seam. So, did you in your journey, what did you throw in college?
I was more of a sinker, slow slider kind of guy. I didn't really throw a changeup. I was a 2-pitch guy.
Okay.
I had a curveball that I tinkered with a little bit, but so sinker, curveball, slider in college. Kind of did that the first year or 2 in pro ball, and then I think in 2021 we just kind of went 4-seam, curveball, more changeups, and the cutter, and then the cutter really took off in 23 or 20. Probably 24. But
did somebody teach you that? Are you just toying on your own?
It was like the same grip, slow slider that I was throwing in college, but I was trying to get more velocity out of it. Sorry, excuse me. Trying to get more velocity out of it, and then I never could, and then something clicked in 2024 probably, or late 2023 with it, where I was ripping it at like 90 to 91. I was like, this is what I've been trying for 4 years finally.
Right.
And
is that that's got to be a cool moment, right?
Yeah.
Because you've been working, all of a sudden it's like, wow.
Yeah. Here, could have happened a little sooner, in my opinion.
Right. You usually don't see a reliever have like 4 or 5 different pitches. Usually relievers have 2 pitches, maybe 3, but you have probably more starter stuff than you do.
I was a starter up until 2022. Then I went to play winter ball in Puerto Rico, and I was in the bullpen there, and I had really good success out of the bullpen for my OS. We went to the championship series in that, and I was going 1 or 2 innings. My 4-seam velocity was up. My sinker velocity was up. The sweeper was playing well. So it was like, hey, let's put you in the bullpen, see where it goes. And then I had really good success in AA. Was there for 2 or 3 months, and then AAA from middle of 22 to 24. So it was I feel like going to the reliever role and having those weapons. And
do you have a preference, starter, reliever?
I just like pitching.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to break. When we come back, let's talk about spring training of the Phillies. Then obviously your start, because you had a pretty cool April, especially in one day, I should say. Not one game, 2 games in one day.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. More baseball. Phillies reliever Chase Shugart. You're listening to BCWSA Bull Session presented by Wapner Newman.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Bring your party to Chickie and Pete's. We can handle groups of all sizes at our locations across the Delaware Valley. Big parties, small parties, company parties, family parties, get-togethers with friends. Order off the menu or our special catering options. We can do it all, including coming to your home or office or special Play 2 party packages at our South Philly location. Book your party today. Hurry, the space is limited. Visit chickieandpete's.com for details. Chickie and Pete's is official caterer of the Philadelphia Eagles Touchdown Club and a proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Need auto service in a hurry? No one offers more service centers than the Philies Automotive Group. More certified trained technicians to get you in and out. Appointments available within 24 hours. All makes and models. PA state inspections and emissions to major work including collision. All located on Route 1 in Fairless Hills. Visit any Philies dealership for fast service. Philies Buick GMC, Philies Nissan, Mitsubishi, or Mazda. And their collision center.
At Penn Community Bank, we're your financial partner for all of life's moments. Our checking accounts are designed with you in mind, providing convenient access and 5-star mobile and online banking services to help you achieve your goals. Right now, you can earn a $350 cash bonus for opening a qualifying new checking account with direct deposits in the first 60 days. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/cash bonus to learn more. Penn Community Bank, here we grow. Offer terms and conditions apply. Limited time offers subject to change. As for full details, member FDIC.
Hey, BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League Champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Mickey Morandini.
All right, we are back to the BCWSA Bull Session presented by Wapner Newman. I'm John Brazer, Director of Fun and Games, and join my co-host, Mickey Morandini, and our special guest, Phillies reliever Chase Shugart. And Chase, we were talking about developing pitchers. What the sweeper? Did that come? What's your last pitch that you developed?
The sweeper.
Yep. So when did that come in? About 2 years ago?
That was in 2023. So probably 2.5. It was about halfway through 2023. 23 was probably the worst year of my career, and I was searching and trying to find anything to get anybody out with. And my pitching coach at the time, Paul Abbott, he was like, "Hey, the curveball is more side to side than it is top to bottom. I really think you could have some success throwing the sweeper." So it was probably 24 is when the sweeper really took off. But starting that process in July of 23 and like sticking with it, and there was some bright spots with it, there were some low spots with it, and taking it into the off season, and then really trying to fine tune that pitch. And because I had the sinker, I had the sweeper. Actually, I did not have the sinker then. So the sweeper and sinker were something I focused on in the off season. And then, but the sweeper and sinker just kind of, I feel like it gave me something to really just abuse righties with. And like I can come in, beat you on the hands with it, and then I will run it off the plate from you. So just having the separation of those two pitches really, I feel like excelled me to the next level.
Do people, this might be a stupid question, but do people say slurve anymore? Do people
No more slurves. Sweeper.
So sweeper is taking it.
It was either a slider or in between a curveball and a slider was a slurve.
Slurve, right. So, but a sweeper.
Which I don't know who.
Which is a sweeper, right. So what, so it's just, is it semantics or is it just, is it a different pitch? Is it different speed maybe?
I think the analytics of it is what named it, because slurve is probably more depthy, and then the sweeper is more horizontal.
Okay.
So like if you're throwing a slurve, it's probably going to have, not to get all numbers, but it's like probably -8 to -10 vertical on it with 18 horizontal, 15 horizontal. So that's going kind of like a slow curve or a slider or, you know, just that slurve definition. And then the sweepers anywhere from +2 vertical to -2 vertical with X amount of horizontal on it.
So do any guys throw?
You know what's funny is if someone would have said that to us in like the 90s, we'd be like,
What?
What are you talking about?
Right. Well, I thought he was just speaking Mandarin Chinese right there for like 30 seconds. Does anybody throw a slurve anymore? Do they teach a slurve? Like, does slurve just totally just go by the wayside?
I feel like when they're teaching that pitch, everybody calls it a sweeper.
Right.
Sweeper. Okay. So it's
sweeper,
still there. It's just,
I think that's just a new term for it.
All right. So then you get in spring training with the Phillies. And what was that like? You're meeting, obviously, it's your third team. You're meeting new guys. You're kind of getting to know everybody. What is that like when you're joining a new organization, going to a new spring training town? You got a new coaching staff, everybody. Did you know anybody when you came in? I'm sure you did through, well, maybe Meza. No, I guess not Meza.
Yeah, I knew Meza from
right.
the Pirates, yeah.
Right.
I knew Meza from the Pirates. I knew Brad Keller from the Red Sox in 24. I knew Stott, actually, because my roommate in college was from Vegas and went to the same high school as Stott. So me and Stott played video games together without ever meeting each other, and then kind of just kept up with his career from UNLV to obviously the Phillies, and, you know, just kind of like a here and there, hey, how's it going, but nothing crazy. I knew Bohm from the Cape Cod League, so I knew a lot of faces but didn't really know them personally, except for Brad and Tim. And then going into spring training, new city, we loved Clearwater.
Right. Clearwater.
Beautiful place.
I always tell people if you're going to pick, and again, I worked there for a long time, so I'm biased, but if you're going to pick a team, not that anybody would, by a spring training, like you're just going to pick solely on the spring training play. I mean, Clearwater, I can't imagine any place is better than Clearwater.
It's pretty good. I like Fort Myers, but I probably just because I was familiar with it. But Clearwater, you know, the beach is 10 minutes away.
And if you want to go into Tampa and just see a concert or want to go golf, well, I'm sure there's great golfing down Fort Myers too.
Great golf in Clearwater, good food in Tampa, and, you know, it was just a really great spring training. Like, really enjoyed myself. Did
you guys have a favorite restaurant down in Clearwater?
Roca. It was actually in Tampa. It was this Italian spot that I went to. I think it was the last day. Me, Meza, Bolin, and Keller. We went and had a good dinner right before camp broke.
Did you stay on the beach or did you stay inland?
No, I was off of forget the highway. I was like 5 minutes from the field.
Okay.
So I didn't want to have the far drive in the morning with the early mornings and all that. But.
All right. Because I tell you what, they as you know, because you're being entertained all the time down there. There's a million restaurants down there. People call me all the time. Hey, I'm coming down to spring training for the first time. What do you recommend? And I already have my set list of like Columbia, which is a Cuban restaurant, and Villa Galacci, the Italian, and
that's my favorite.
Villa Galacci, yeah. And we're down at Fantasy Camp, and that's right on the beach. So again, we're all go out down there. So when you get to the Phillies, I guess did you in the bullpen? You said Meza, you already knew, and Keller, right? Is that kind of who you in the very beginning kind of gravitated towards, or?
Yeah, it was them two and Bolin, really, because me and Bolin were the two new guys, and mine and Bolin's locker were right next to each other.
Okay.
And then we had Alvy right next to us as well. So I getting to talk to Alvarado about Philly, and then, you know, expectations, the winning culture, and.
Well, you also came from Boston, so you came from Boston and Philly are about the same in the sense that the fans can be tough and tough media market and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said, just pitch how you know how to pitch. You know, everything else will take care of itself. So, sorry, that was something that stuck with me that he said, and you know, just great group of guys. You know, guys who've played together for the last 4 or 5 years and have been winning, and they expect to win. And, you know, coming into that clubhouse was like, all right, like, we're going after it. And
all right, take me to the bullpen, the Phillies bullpen. So we'll like tonight, you're in the bullpen, got the Reds. Who are you sitting next to? Who are you hanging with? Who's the class clown? Who's the one that, you know, you might go to for advice? Like, you know, it's a little fraternity down there.
Yeah, we all sit in the same spots every day. I think
you're all very superstitious.
Yeah, I think I can rattle it off. It goes Bolin on the end, Keller, me, Kirkring, I think Banksy, and then Tim, Alvarado, and then Duran. Am I missing somebody? Bolin, Keller, me, Kirk, Mesa, Banks, Alvarado, Duran. No, that's it.
I think you got it.
And then Bago sits at the end, our bullpen catcher, and then Caesar and Flanny sit up there on the wall. And the class clown's probably Tanner Banks.
Tanner, right? And he's a talker too.
Yeah,
right.
He likes to talk, and then
Alvarado's also kind of has a big personality, right?
Both big personalities. Take up the room with it, and they're great. They're hilarious. And then Tim Mays is the one that keeps everybody in line. Hey, we got a big league ball game going on. Yeah.
And then Kirk Ring's probably the quiet one.
No, Kirk Ring's also probably leaning towards the class.
Oh, is that right?
clown.
Oh, okay.
Well, I would think he'd be quiet.
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking he's quiet.
Well,
and then what's Duran like?
He's awesome. Somebody who's really good at what he does, and I feel like if you saw him in public and didn't know who he was, you wouldn't know. Like, he's probably one of the best closers in baseball. Like, he's really humble. He's really nice. I felt honored. We made a handshake together last week. I was like, oh, I'm in.
Right.
Like me and him have a handshake now.
Who initiated that? He did?
He did. So I was like, all right, here we go. But
Did you have one with each player?
No, it was just him.
Just him.
Is that right?
Him. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. But Duran's great.
And wait, stay on him, because how cool is it to be in the bullpen first time you saw the entrance?
So when I first got called up, I think like 2 days later, he went on the IL with his
oh, right.
I can't even remember what he was dealing with, left side oblique, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so I never got to see it. And then he came back, and then they did it. And I was like, this is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen on a baseball field. It's like a whole production.
Especially from that view, your view, when you're seeing him, about to start, and then going out there and.
Yeah. I really took away from him. I was like, he is a large human, like
right.
just a big dude running out of there. And then the same thing with Keller. When Keller runs out, I'm like, these are just two baseball, like perfect baseball bodies. You know what I mean? 6'5", huge, throws flames. Like, it's really cool to see them both. So
when you guys go on the road, is it kind of compartmentalized where it's the relievers kind of go out, starters go out, the hitters go out? Or do you guys mix, or is there a small group you guys hang out with on?
There's separate stretch times for starters. Starters are going to have a longer bullpen session than what relievers are, because, like, if I go touch the mound today, it's going to be for 10 pitches. If the starter does, it's probably going to be for 30 to 40, depending on who's throwing. So it's like, we're separated in that sense. But then when we get closer to game time, everybody's in the locker room, everybody's talking, everybody's, doing their pregame routines. And then we all walk out together as a unit. And, it's just, I feel like our unit as a pitching staff right now is just really tight. And, that's what you want. And the pitching staff, and just like, hey, passing the baton on to the next guy. I did my job. It's time for you to go do yours, and then trusting the guy who comes in after you to do his. So just being able to pass the baton and trusting that, the job's going to get done one way or another. Important question now. Are you allowed to play golf on the road? I play golf if there's an off day. Off day. It has to be an off day. I'm not. But are you allowed? Like, are they allowed? They don't say anything. No. We played 36 on Monday in Boston.
So who do you usually play with?
Last week it was Keller, Caesar Ramos, our bullpen coach, and Bolin. Bolin didn't show up to the tee time, but
it's like the guy at the PGA that was a minute late.
Yeah,
and he got docked a 2-stroke penalty.
Oh, really?
Did you dock him a 2-stroke penalty?
No, we just gave him some. We gave him some crap the next couple of days, but yeah, we had a good group of guys that love to golf, want to get their mind off baseball, but can go enjoy themselves, have a nice dinner, and then back to the grind the next day.
I always think pitchers and golf, it's very kind of one and the same in the sense that obviously it requires great athleticism, but it's also the mechanics. You guys are constantly trying to repeat your mechanics as a pitcher all the time, right? And in golf, I imagine, I try to do it, but you're same thing. You try to repeat the mechanics if you have the mechanics down.
Yep.
Right. So usually pitchers do make for good golfers.
Yeah. I got asked the other day by Greg. He was like, who's winning in a Ryder Cup style position, players or pitchers? And I'm like, I think the pitchers win. We got really good athletes on the pitching side of it, really good athletes on the position player side of it. But if it came down to it, I think the pitchers win by maybe a point or 2 points. It's nothing. It'd be a close match, but
maybe even 2 on the mental side.
Yeah.
And all right, now I know you're a hitter. You're not a pitcher, so you can stick up for your position group. But do you think the pitchers deal with more mental part of the game than the hitters? It's both. But I mean, he's trying to get you out, and you're trying to figure him out.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, it's close. Really, the mental part of it comes into play is when you're struggling.
Right.
That's the one that really comes into play. When things are going well,
right.
You're not thinking about it. You're just playing the game, letting your athleticism take over. But when you start to struggle, that's when the mental part you really got to bear down and figure it out quickly. You see it in golf all the time. I mean, guys start struggling.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them.
Scotty Scheffler missed, was it on Saturday? Missed all those. I think he missed like 7 putts within 6 feet or something. It's crazy. All right, yeah. And it's funny. My wife does not golf at all, and I keep telling her, "Come on, we gotta take up golf. I'd love to go out and play with it." And she watched this tournament, and she said, "If these guys, the best in the world, can't make a 5-foot putt or 6-foot putt, how am I going to do this? Like, this is the most frustrating game in the world." I'm like, well, yeah, but you're seeing like a really hard course in the worst of conditions, and so. All right, let's talk more with Chase's career with the BCWSA Bull Session presented by Wapner Newman. Again, I'm John Brazer, Mickey Morandini, and we are their special guest, Chase Shugart.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Bring your party to Chickie and Pete's. We can handle groups of all sizes at our locations across the Delaware Valley. Big parties, small parties, company parties, family parties, get-togethers with friends. Order off the menu or our special catering options. We can do it all, including coming to your home or office or special Play 2 party packages at our South Philly location. Book your party today. Hurry, the space is limited. Visit ChickieandPete's.com for details. Chickie and Pete's is an official caterer of the Philadelphia Eagles Touchdown Club and a proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Need auto service in a hurry? No one offers more service centers than the Philies Automotive Group. More certified trained technicians to get you in and out. Appointments available within 24 hours. All makes and models. PA state inspections and emissions to major work including collision. All located on Route 1 in Fairless Hills. Visit any Philies dealership for fast service. Philies Buick GMC, Philies Nissan, Mitsubishi, or Mazda. And their collision center.
At Penn Community Bank, we're your financial partner for all of life's moments. Our checking accounts are designed with you in mind, providing convenient access and 5-star mobile and online banking services to help you achieve your goals. Right now, you can earn a $350 cash bonus for opening a qualifying new checking account with direct deposits in the first 60 days. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/cash bonus to learn more. Penn Community Bank, here we grow. Offer terms and conditions apply. Limited time offers subject to change. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
Hey BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League Champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Bull Session. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and Mickey Morandini.
All right, we are back to the BCWSA Bull Session presented by Wapner Newman. I'm John Brazer and joined by my co-host, Mickey Morandini, and Phillies reliever, Chase Shugart. And I found my phone. You know where my phone was, Chase?
Where was it?
I ran out to my car, nothing there. I went into the bathroom, nothing there. I'm looking all over the table, looking under the floor. And if I'm putting it in my back pocket, I put it in the pocket where I don't have my wallet. For some reason, I shoved it in my back pocket where my wallet is. So I felt my wallet, but didn't realize that the phone was right there. So I'm.
How old are you?
60. But my memory is not bad for a 60-year-old because I usually I have notes in front of me, and I had a lot of stuff on the phone, and I've been kind of pulling this one.
Been doing a great job.
Thanks, Chase. I appreciate that. All right, so now we're into the Philly season, and I alluded to this earlier, but we are playing the Giants, and we have a doubleheader. I was at that first game, and you did something that I think hasn't happened since 2013 with the Phillies, that you won both games of the doubleheader. So walk us through that day.
Yeah, early day at the yard. Came to a situation where a righty was coming up in the 9th inning of the first game, and I was able to do my job, get the righty out, and in 4 pitches, and then the offense did their thing and scored 2 to walk it off. And, it was really cool. I was taking that win. I was like, awesome, great, and
Was that your first? No, that was not your first win.
No, my first one was in Anaheim last year against the Angels.
Okay.
And, whenever I come out of when I get out, I come in the dugout, and pitching coaches are like, hey, if we pull you right here, you can be good to go for the later game. And I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. 4 pitches, not really taxing. And so I think I was the last guy up, and then we went into extra innings, and, I went through the 10th, and, great defensive play by Bohm, strikeout, and then, fly out to end it. And then, the offense did their job again and got that 1 run across and 2 wins in one day.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty cool thing to say, but it doesn't happen if the offense, is asleep at the wheel. And
do you have any memorabilia from that game? Do you have?
No, I don't actually. I might have the ball in my locker. If I might, I don't really know.
Right. Do you know the guy sitting next to you is one of how many major leaguers?
15.
15 major leaguers to have an unassisted triple play.
Really?
92.
How'd that go about?
First and second, full count, send the runners, line drive up the middle, catch it, dive, catch it. I'm probably 5 steps from second, tramp on second, get ready to throw, and Barry Bonds is standing right there and tag Barry for third out. Lasted about literally, 3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds.
That's awesome.
Pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool. Barry Bonds is involved in that, too.
Yeah, it was. And they got I'm actually on a card. Someone snapped a picture for a baseball card of me tagging Barry. So that's pretty cool, too, baseball card.
Now, was this like the really big Barry Bonds? Or this
was
not
skinny
so big?
Barry.
Skinny Barry.
He got big the next year because he went to the Giants the
Right.
following year. That's when he got big. But this was skinny Barry. Still very good Barry, though.
Right. Well, I used to do a radio show with Ricky Batalico, and Ricky Barry Bonds charged the mound at Ricky.
Yeah.
And this is Big Barry, right? This is not Skinny Barry, and that can't be fun.
Well, Ricky was a big boy back then.
He was.
He's
Yeah.
skinny now, but he was a big boy back then.
Yeah. All right. So, and also, what is it? You worked under Topper, obviously. You
Yep.
played under Topper, and I'm one of the big. I told Topper after they let him go that, and again, I worked for under, I don't know, 10 managers, if not more. And I told him, I said, Larry Boa, Charlie, Topper are like 3 of my favorites. And I can't imagine, and I know you played a short time with him, but what a great guy. I mean,
Yeah.
And then, but what's it like now? You're with Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly, and now you're probably too young to see Don Mattingly play, but obviously about the history.
Right.
What's it like playing under Don?
He's laid back. He knows. I feel like he knows what he has in the clubhouse, like athletic wise, like with position players, and then I feel like he knows he has a lot of good arms in the rotation and in the bullpen. So I feel like he's just kind of like, we're very fundamentally based, and doing the little things right, and that's what he was preaching when he first got told he was going to be the manager. And we had the meeting. That's what he was telling us. And then, I feel like it's really showed in these last X amount of games, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it's been. And, it's somebody that, that knows what he has and it just expects you to do your job. And if you're doing your job, great. And if not, I'm sure he's probably going to let you know about it.
Yeah. And then, we didn't even talk about the offensive side. Kyle Schwarber, have you seen a guy on a heater like this in the beginning of the season?
Never.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Never. Maybe Cody Clemens in 2018 with the regional and super regional whenever we were making a push for the Carl's World Series, but I don't even think you can compare it to what Schwarber's doing right now. It's insane. I was warming up to come in the game Friday night against Pittsburgh when he went opposite field off the lefty into our bullpen, and Caesar looks at me and goes, I've never seen anything like this. It's like, me neither.
Right.
This is just incredible what he's doing.
Did you see the guy? And I can't remember what team, but a bullpen, a home run came to the bullpen and they caught it with a traffic cone.
Yeah.
Oh, I did see that.
Did you see that?
I've never seen it.
I saw
So have you guys ever thought about, like, if a home run comes in there, do you have any kind of like competition to catch, like, what would happen if it came in and you caught a ball?
We were trying to get Harps yesterday off his games. We were trying to get Bago, our bullpen catcher, to wear it off the chest.
Just wear it
off the chest.
If I hit one off schemes, I'd want that ball. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then also you were probably, Harper too. You were watching him probably when you were in college, right?
High school.
High school, right.
YouTube videos.
Right. So how cool is that you're now teammates with Bryce, someone that you were watching way back when?
Yeah. First day I met him, and in spring, and I walk up to him to introduce myself, like, "Hey, I'm Chase," and he goes, "Oh, what's up, Shug?" Like he already knew my name, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome."
Cool.
Like
he does his research.
Yeah, like this is awesome. Like I was fully expecting to, have to introduce myself, talk about it, but he's like, "You played at Texas," and, had the whole rundown. So I was like, for a guy like that to know who I am and like even just what I did in college, it was like, all right, like I was really welcoming and like kind of eased me up on just being in a new clubhouse, new faces, and everything like that.
And then Caleb Cotham, talk about Caleb as your pitching coach.
Caleb's awesome. I really love what they're preaching here on the pitching side of things. He's a baseball mind and very, very smart in what he does. Like sometimes when he's talking, like he goes on these rants and, they're all well and meaningful. And then I get lost in translation of it all because he's using big words that I don't understand.
Does someone help translate?
So he goes on his spiel and I'm like, all right, in layman's terms, like
right.
how do then he breaks it down. And so, it's cool, like seeing his mind go to work. And then even with Loey and Caesar, just little bits and pieces from those two help me mechanically. And then what we want to do pitch design wise, how is this going to get a righty out? How is this going to get a lefty out? And I feel like we have a really good job of relaying that information and showing, the results of what they're preaching.
Who is the most intimidating batter that you faced in your career? Like when it just looks like almost like to me like it would be back in the day Gary Sheffield with the way he kind of waggles that bat. And, or obviously Bonds would be terrifying. Right. Is there somebody that's just kind of just looks intimidating? And maybe you shouldn't give away the secret because then they're going to.
I can bring this one up because it's Schwarber. I faced Schwarber last year in Pittsburgh, bases loaded, 2 outs. And, like that was a moment and I was like, all right, this game can get out of hand really quick.
So what's your strategy? Because you can't walk him because he's bases loaded.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, and I think they have a 1-run lead at the time. And I think I go 3-0 to him, 3-1 to him or something like that. And then I just get a strikeout out of it and, on my way. But
just pitched him away or
just threw him a bunch of off speed, really. Okay. I was like, you're not hitting a heater a mile off of me.
Right.
In my head, I was okay with the walk. But
and
I luckily executed the pitches in that big moment, and I was like, all right, I got out of it. But
I think
that was probably most terrifying at bat.
With power hitters, you got to locate and change speeds. Because if they're sitting on a heater and you're throwing a heater and you're not locating it, it's going to go a long way.
Chase, you know who this guy had the most success off? What's superstar pitcher? This guy, can I say dominated or kind of dominated? Well, I mean, kind of.
Yeah, I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
Craig Maddox.
No way.
Yeah, tell him your stats of Maddox.
I faced him probably 130 times. Because every time we played the Braves, he pitched. He never missed them. And I hit about 340 off him.
That's not a bad.
And I got a homer off him.
And
I didn't hit many home runs.
And you just saw him well, or you just kind of.
With him, you have to take either inside half of the plate or outside half. You can't cover the whole plate with him.
Yeah.
So I was pretty good at guessing what he wanted to do.
Good guesser.
Yeah.
All right.
For him. A lot of pitchers I wasn't.
All right. Well, that wraps up today's BCWSA Bull Session presented by Wapner Newman. I'd like to thank my co-host, Mickey Morandini, our guest, Chase Shugart, our on-site producer and engineer, Chris Ermer. Thanks also to Chickies and Pete's in South Philly for hosting us today, and thank you for listening. We're going to be back next Monday at 5:30 at Chickies and Pete's in Warrington, PA. We're going to have former Philly Doug Clemens will be our guest, while Anthony Sanfilippo and Tommy Green will co-host. Until then, have a great week, and as the late, great Harry the K says,
Outta here.